Among those in a full-time faculty position, only approximately 25% are faculty of color, and only approximately 5% are Black faculty. Most graduate students contend with imposter syndrome and feelings of isolation. But these experiences for students of color are exacerbated due to the lack of representation, not just within the knowledge field, but among the faculty as well. I cannot emphasize enough the impact that faculty of color, particularly Black faculty members, have had in the lives of myself and my peers.
When I first started graduate school, I came into contact with a professor by the name of Dr. Richard Reddick. And he was working on a research project, and asked me if I would be willing to work alongside him and some of his colleagues on that research project. And engaging in this project, it was one of the first times that I really felt like I belonged. I felt like I was a graduate student. I felt like I belonged in the academy. I felt like I was capable of doing the work. Shortly thereafter, I came across Dr. Mark Gooden, who eventually became my dissertation chair, as well as one of my mentors, and still serves as my mentor to this day. And he was one of the ones who talked to me about considering becoming a faculty member, and eventually convinced me that I was capable of becoming one. Before then, I didn't really see myself as a faculty member, didn't think I had the ability to be a faculty member. They helped me to realize that I had, what it took. I just needed some development, and they took out the time to help develop me. But not only that, they linked me into some networks to where I saw other folks who looked like me, other folks who were striving to achieve the same types of things that I was trying to achieve. And just being a part of that network, being surrounded by them, being affirmed by them, really made a huge impact on my career trajectory. And as I mentioned, after being a part of that network, after having those conversations, after being in those research meetings, really gave me the confidence as well as the skills that I needed in order to go into the academy.
Because when you start to have self-doubt, it's helpful to see someone who looks like you that has made it on the other side. Engaging with diverse faculty members also means engaging in diverse theoretical ideologies, frameworks, and applications.
Additionally, for students who do not identify as a person of color, exposure to a diverse thought process, teaching methodology, and research by a Black professor could open up a whole new way of seeing the world. From Frederick Douglass to Booker T. Washington to Anna Julia Cooper, the knowledge production alone by Black faculty has laid a rich foundation for the future of academia.
To better understand the lack of diversity of engineering faculty at top research or Carnegie classified R1 institutions, part of the work of our National Science Foundation funded research is to examine tenure or tenure-track engineering faculty's perception of diversity climate across ethnic groups and their turnover intentions. To accomplish this, we conducted a national survey of our target population, and our preliminary results have suggested several interesting findings. Based on over 700 responses, we found differences in how men and women faculty perceive their institution's inclusive practices, with male faculty typically expressing a more positive perception than females. Black and Hispanic faculty were also more likely to feel less organizational inclusion and correspondingly have a less positive perception of the institution's inclusive practices than their white counterparts. From a broader perspective, we found that faculty who felt that their employer had a lower value of diversity were more likely to indicate they were considering leaving the organization.
From our respondent feedback regarding diversity concerns in their department or subject specialty, some thematic patterns have emerged. One major theme is noting the pipeline problem, which some respondents used to explain away their diversity challenges with a perceived incompatibility with the subject matter and people of color. For example, one person shared,
but it could very well be that what is emphasized, valued, and promoted reinforces a lack of diversity. So for example, Researchers suggest that STEM faculty often want to emphasize the technical aspects of the industry, while Black students are often more interested in issues of social justice, such as how to use those technical skills to advance social change for the disenfranchised. But this is often not valued or promoted by the institution. Furthermore, the lack of faculty of color often results in fewer mentors that students of color feel they can relate to, see as role models, or receive what they need in terms of support from. These type of occurrences result in statistics such as And while that leads to a recruitment issue for engineering faculty of color, it also has strong roots in retention issue for students of color in academia. This has been demonstrated by research that has shown that similarly qualified and prepared Black, Hispanic, and white students, in those situations, those students of color are more likely to transition out of STEM and drop out altogether than their white counterparts.
In our study that focused on how inclusive engineering faculty workspaces are, there are many who describe feeling excluded from their work environments because of their race and gender. For example, one participant shared, another person shared, clearly, workplace inclusion is an area that warrants more attention.